Mike Tindall gave brutal punch on Harry's face over breaks silence on Father's Day celebrations. Zara Tindall's husband Mike Tindall has spoken about how he celebrated Father's Day with his children. Former rugby player Mike spoke about his plans on the most recent episode of the podcast he co-hosts, The Good, the Bad and the Rugby. It was an episode mostly dedicated to discussing the Leicester Tigers premiership win, but dad of three Mike and co-host Alex Payne also briefly discussed their own weekends. When Alex asked Mike if he watched Sunday's England game, the retired player and keen sports fan surprisingly revealed that he hadn't, but for a very sweet reason. Mike Tindall once attacked Prince Harry after a few too many celebratory drinks in a bizarre prank. But the royal didn't seem to mind that the powerful rugby star and his pal were launching into him. England had just won the World Cup. The former Red Roses centre, married to Harry's cousin Zara, really got to know the Duke of Sussex at the tournament he was playing in back in 2003. But after celebrating the historic moment in Australia nearly 20 years ago, everyone involved seemed to make the most of it. Though things got a little out of hand hours after dropkick hero Jonny Wilkinson sent England into dreamland down under against their old rivals. The 43-year-old admitted, "I was having a lovely Father's Day with the family, so I saw the results. I haven't managed to go back through it all." Earlier in the podcast, the star also shared that he would have liked to have celebrated with their interviewees, Leicester's Freddie Burns and Richard Wigglesworth, but joked that family commitments meant that he was unable to. During their conversation, Mike interjected, "If it hadn't been Lena's birthday, I'd have been meeting you somewhere." Lena is Mike and his wife Zara's youngest daughter, and she turned 4 on Saturday. The couple also share Mia, 8, and son Lucas, 1. Zara and Mike's young daughters were among the members of the firm in the royal box on the last day of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Mia and Lena sat between their parents and looked attentively at the spectacle unfolding before them. The daughter of Princess Anne and granddaughter of the Queen tied the knot with former rugby union player Mike Tindall in 2011. This week, Mike Tindall got candid in a new interview. The husband of royal Zara Tindall not only revealed what the royal family currently thinks about Prince Harry but also shared a funny anecdote. Mike Tindall, the former rugby star and husband of the Queen's granddaughter Zara, has revealed quite the amusing story about Prince Harry at a sports event in London. On a question of Sport Live, Mike Tindall spoke about a night in Sydney in 2003 when he celebrated England's victory in the Rugby World Cup and met the Prince while drunk. At that time, he and his teammate Ian Balshaw had the great idea of testing the royal security. So they slapped the Queen's grandson to see how long it would take for the bodyguards to swarm them. Just a few seconds, it turned out. Tindall also made a rather interesting joke afterwards, that the royal family currently wants to do the same with Harry. At Balmoral, the family are now having the same conversation. Except the Queen has taken his security away, Mike joked, according to the Metro. The pair decided to carry the plan out to see how quickly staff would intervene. But the pesky pair soon discovered his bodyguards are actually pretty fast and couldn't care less if you've just won the World Cup. They soon learned that it would only take a few seconds for Harry's security to pin them to the ground and give them a serious talking to. Tindall spoke about the playful incident on a podcast with England star James Haskell. While discussing how he could be depicted in Netflix drama The Crown, he said on the show, "That has to be the main incident, if it was there, the full Harry slap." Then, seemingly referencing Harry's issues with the royal family since leaving the UK, he joked that it's not only the producers who should grab a piece of the action. At Balmoral, the family are now having the same conversation, he teased. Now having the same